Over the years, I've made lots of gardening friends, and I always love to visit their gardens because there's always something new around every turn and every corner, new plants, new gardens to see, and this garden is certainly no exception. Jimmy Williams, thank you so much for having us here today to Tennessee Dixter.
Tennessee Dixter.
Tennessee Dixter.
Pretentiously and preposterously named Tennessee Dixter after Great Dixter in England. I imagine you've been there before.
Absolutely my favorite garden anywhere.
I agree with you 100%.
And the guy too. He was a great old guy. But I tell you what, you're close. You're darn close.
Thank
so
you.
This obviously is the main kind of perennial border, the sun perennial border as it is. And
mixed border, as Crystal would say.
Right, because it's mixed with perennials, shrubs. You plug some annuals in for some color.
Plug some annuals here and there, I absolutely do.
Right.
And even small trees in there, some, and so forth. But yes, it's difficult, as you well know, in our climate, to keep a purely perennial border going all year without something looking bad in there.
Sure.
And so we're early, of course, now, and then late for our real early stuff. This was full of Phlox of Arcata a month ago. We just almost couldn't see anything else. And it changes, obviously, from time to time. But I've been working on this border for nearly 40 years, and Christopher Lloyd said you won't ever get it right. He's absolutely right.
Well, and because plants change, gardens change, gardeners change. We all, we like different things at different times.
Most of my stalwart things, I would say my summer things, of course, summer phlox not blooming yet.
Right.
It's full of summer phloxes and various ones. And I've found that the hand-me-down phloxes work better than most of the ones you buy.
Than the varieties.
They do, really
cultivars,
do. And, the old one, Robert Poor, it's called, and you know about it, of course, a brilliant pink, magenta pink. But I had it before I ever named it Robert Poor. I think it's the same thing the person gave me. But that's one of my favorite things, of course, is summer phlox.
Right.
And in the spring, I've got all the spring stuff in here. A lot of bulbs in here, and you don't see them now, of course.
Sure.
But this is full
but they're perennial bulbs, and they come back every year.
Daffodils, narcissus.
But the nice thing is this border is so lush that once those daffodils are going down, everything else kind of covers up. You never see them.
There's foliage in there now, but you can't see it. And that's the wonderful thing about perennial. And I have adapted over the years. We're out in bright sun right now, but I've got more shade now since I planted all these trees 40 years ago. I have had to adapt a little bit and go to more shade plants. In fact, I've got hostas in here and so forth. This gets afternoon shade. So I've adapted a little bit in that regard. And then also, so it might be interesting to the viewers, that in a little concession to old age, I've begun to put more shrubs in here. Shrubs in the long run are less maintenance.
Less maintenance, more structure.
A little more permanent. Many ways I hate to do it because the perennials are such a joy, but I have popped in a few shrubs. There's a red twig or midwinter fire dogwood right there.
Yeah.
That's good in winter, everything else is
just a little green shrub now, but in the winter those stems come up.
That's right. So I have conceded a little bit to my age, and but I still go at it pretty hard.
And speaking of shrubs, I love this barberry.
That's just a crimson pigby.
It is.
But I shear it about every month and keep the red coming on.
Okay.
And I've got more in my red border down below. I've got orange rocket down there, which is a good one. But anyway, it's a perennial border or a mixed border like it. You know better than anybody. It is not a low maintenance deal. This garden has never been low maintenance, and I warn people about that when they come here. Most people have no clue as to how much work
it really is. And that's, I say to people all the time, because people ask me, I want a low maintenance garden. Well, what's low maintenance to one person may not be low maintenance to another. I spend at least one full day a week. I mean, I'm working all the time, but I'm spending at least one full day a week in my garden maintaining it. And to me, that's low maintenance. That's my joy to get out there on that day.
That's right.
But to other people, having to spend a whole day every week may not be.
They shudder.
Yeah.
And, people say, I've heard people say and read in many of the books, not yours. And by the way, I'm giving a plug to your book, Plant This, Not That. That's a wonderful book.
I appreciate it.
It saved me a lot of trouble already. But people who talk about, they want a lot of color and low maintenance. It absolutely does not go together.
Right.
You can have a green garden and relatively low maintenance. But the color
if you want color and flowering plants, you've got to be able
it's a high maintenance
willing
garden.
to work for it a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's right. Absolutely right.
Well, there's a lot more here to see, so I want to take off and look at some other things.
Okay, good deal.
And you've got quite a few conifers mixed into your garden here.
Well, I do, Troy. I'm not a conifer collector as such, but I do have quite a few. None of them are extremely rare, but I do have them mixed in here. With Japanese maples and conifers go great together.
Right.
And I might just say that one of my really favorite ones is this deodar cedar here. It's I think silver mist maybe or something like that. But I've had it for 10 or 12 years, and I'm trying to keep it to that size.
Right, so you keep it sheared.
I keep it sheared.
Yeah, if you didn't do that, it would
be way wide.
Right.
And I shear it to about twice a summer.
Okay.
And once I get to that stage and it builds up some close wood in there, can't go back into old wood, of course.
Right.
But I shear it about twice a summer, which is a 5-minute job, you know.
Sure.
And
well, and I think that's an important thing to mention is that so many of our plants can be sheared and manipulated, but not in a in a contrived sort of way. I mean, this all goes together. I mean, that upright and the weeping form of the Japanese maple, they all complement one another. And so you're using your skill to prune and shape these plants the way that they in a way that they look attractive together.
Right. Even a dwarf so-called conifer will eventually get bigger than you want it to, probably. Right. This little gold cone juniper here, it's not gold right now because it's already flushed, but you know, that thing I've had for 10 years probably, and no problem keeping it that size.
Well, speaking of other interesting plants that you've got in here, I want to know a little bit about these azaleas because we're nearing the end of May now,
that's right.
And you've got azaleas still in bloom. And
that's right.
I think most of us think about azaleas in late March and on into April, but not maybe this late in the summer.
This is a late blooming. One of my favorites, as tough as nails. I've had it many years and never frozen. It's Chinzan. And I'm not sure if it's a Satsuki or not. I don't really think it is. It will get, and that thing can get 10 feet wide if I didn't, and it'll get taller than that. I've kept that down.
Keep it sheared.
Other azaleas behind it have already bloomed out, of course.
Yep.
But this is one of my favorite late azaleas, and I have others.
Well, Jimmy, as you come into the garden, you've got a lot of plants in containers up here, conifers and all kinds of other things. Tell me about how this came to be and your philosophy behind having all these plants in containers.
Well, when I built the walk here, I eliminated all the grass behind it to keep from having the mold back in there and put it in Vinca minor ground cover. But I've got into the hypertufa thing at one time. Most of those, many of them are hypertufa pots that I made, and others made otherwise as well. But anyway, some conifers in there, as you say, and then some not conifers, but they've bonsai'd themselves almost with a little help over the years because they're so pot bound, root bound. And I do have to be really conscientious about watering it. I think a little shade there helps. It's under a big pin oak up here. That's one of the first things I planted, and it used to be full of sun. But I think in our climate, the shade helps. It'll get sun in the middle of the day a little while.
Just a little shot during the day.
Yeah, I've enjoyed
Well, they're all beautiful, and one of the things that is so striking up here on the front porch is this vine. Tell me about it.
Well, she's a phragma, which people call climbing hydrangea. It is a Japanese vine, but the blooms are showier, a little bit showier, and they've got those tepals that come out, and they stay on there for a long time. I'd say a month, at least a month.
So it's almost like a lace cap hydrangea flower.
Absolutely.
And then is this the variety Moonlight?
This one is, and it'll take at least 5 years to get to first blooms.
And I've had that experience, but I've had the experience with the real climbing hydrangea that it's been in the ground 10 or 15 years and has never bloomed. So this blooms at a much younger age and more reliably.
That's right. And when I found out about that, I had done a couple of jobs, design jobs for people that insisted on the other one. And it's 5 or 6, 7 years later,
years and never see a bloom.
Nothing. So I tried to talk them into pulling them out, but they didn't want to do it. But anyway, yeah, it's much superior. Much superior.
Great. Now, one of the things that I like that you have are some of your color-themed areas, and this is a red border. So everything in here is in the red, orange, burgundy sort of color range, right?
That's right, and we're here, of course, at the end of May, and it hadn't really kicked in yet. And again, there are very few red perennials, And I have to augment it with, I've got grasses in here, of course, foliage plants of purple plum, and then this orange rocket barberry. I'm just crazy about that.
That is beautiful. I love that.
That's great. I love that plant. I got 2 of them in here.
Uh-huh.
And then I got the roses in here. I'm not a rosarian, as I said, but some of them go in here well. And
is this one of those little oh so easy, or one of those?
Oh so easy paprika.
Okay.
That's right. And it's a tough little old thing.
Right.
And all. And then of course these
and
lilies.
And you've got these big, beautiful lilies just really showing off today.
I don't know the name of them, but they're easy.
They're an Asiatic.
Yeah,
lily.
Asiatic lily, upright.
Yeah.
And then
little violas still, or pansies still hanging on a little bit?
They're hanging on, and I'll change those out just pretty soon and probably put some red wax begonias, red salvia or something in this little pocket right here.
Right. And then you've got one of my favorite plants right here, just coming into bloom.
This is Indian pink, of course, and it's Spigelia Marylanda cuts, and it is a native of Maryland. It's also a native of Tennessee, though I don't see many in the wild.
I don't see a lot of them here, but I have seen them in a few places.
I had a hard time getting started on those, but I've got quite a few clumps built up. And they're easy, sun or shade. I have some in deep shade.
Yeah.
They bloom just as well.
Yeah.
And they divide real good after a couple of years. You can start dividing them.
Now what I do notice about mine in my garden is that the ones in the sun, if I deadhead them, will come back and rebloom another time a little later in the summer.
Absolutely. If you deadhead them quickly and not let them go to seed. If you let them go to seed, you will get seedlings, a few. But yes, deadhead them down in there a little ways, and then they will shoot right back and get the second bloom
flush.
Is not quite as
spectacular,
prolific.
but
not quite as good.
Well, Jimmy, with all this garden, I know it's hard to pick a favorite plant or a favorite spot because it's all so beautiful, and I would imagine that no matter what season it is.
Well, we do have some color in the winter, the conifers and so forth. And then by 1st of February we have crocuses galore, maybe several thousand actually.
Right.
So yeah, it carries on through, and it's different every few weeks.
Right, different every few weeks, different probably every day, and I know in my garden different from morning to night.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's one of the greatest things about it.
Travis is blooming now, but it won't be now this afternoon.
I have to point out just real quickly before we end that how beautiful your crepe myrtles are that you have here.
Thank you.
And the key to that is that you don't cut them off.
It just makes me sick every time I go by some crepe myrtles. They're 20 years old and they've cut them off about high as your head. You get a whole little old watery thickets, branches.
Right.
And you just got to prune them up, not out. And I've taken off the bottom branches as it grows. Don't do it all at once. And there's a little scar there, as you see it. Here's one I just did this year, a little scar.
Sure.
But anyway, I want to get that up.
But it grows up into this big, beautiful tree. And I have said many times, there are enough crepe myrtles on the market of sizes from knee-high to 30 feet that you can find a crepe myrtle to suit the correct situation, and you don't have to butcher them in order to make them stay.
And the bark is
such a beautiful
12-month feature.
Yes.
And the Natchez crepe myrtles especially, and they'll get 25 feet tall. The bark is just spectacular.
Yes, it is. Yeah. I cannot thank you enough for letting us come and visit today. You and Peggy are always the most gracious hosts, and we love coming to see your garden.
Well, I appreciate it, and you come back.
All right.
It'll change later.